Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Sixers Postgame Live on Run It Back Philly. Not on YouTube, because we are still suspended from live streaming on YouTube. But we are live streaming on Instagram, Twitch, and Twitter right now. Run It Back Philly on Instagram, twitch.tv/runitbackphilly, and Twitter at DjEastwoodRIBP. Thank you all for joining me. The 76ers pulled off maybe their most epic tank job yet, and that's why I wore the Trust the Process Trust Issues hoodie, which you can get at runitbackphillyshop.com. And it's because of this. Do you understand how good at tanking you have to be able to lose to the New Orleans Pelicans without Zion Williamson, without CJ McCollum, without DeJounte Murray, without Trey Murphy, without Herb Jones? Who else? The Pelicans tried so hard to be bad enough to lose this game, and they were still beating this 76ers team by 20 plus points in the fourth quarter. Do you understand how bad you have to be this bad? And only a team that has experience in this profession of tanking can pull it off. And if there's one team that has experience in the profession of tanking, it is, by God, the damn Philadelphia 76ers. And they pulled it off. To tank so hard that you could be down to the tanking Pelicans by 20 plus points in the fourth quarter is just epic. The 76ers pull off the tank. They lose 112-99. They scored 99 points in the game. Do you understand that? They scored 99 points. Jared Butler in the first half was the performer of the game. That's how far we've fallen this season. The performer of the first half was Jared Butler, a guy who I was just making fun of a couple of months ago for having a meet and greet. The 76ers gave season ticket holders a meet and greet with Jared Butler. And I've been calling him Mr. Meet and Greet because nobody wants to meet Jared Butler, dude. I could meet a random Division II basketball player and be just as excited as meeting Jared Butler. You know what? I was in the gym today and I saw dudes repping 495 pounds on the squat for 8 reps. And I went up to him and I said, "Is that 500 pounds?" And he said, "It's 495. And I said, "That's an insane squat for 8 reps. I was more excited to meet that random guy that I saw squatting 500 pounds than I would be to go to a Jared Butler meet and greet. Anyway, little off topic. Jared Butler was the performer of the first half. That's how far we've fallen. The Sixers actually took the lead in the second half, which was very annoying because we do not want them to win. They need to keep losing so that they can get closer to Cooper Flagg. Right now, they have a 9.8% chance at the number 1 pick in the draft. if they find a way to get to 4th, they will have a 12.5% chance at the number 1 pick in the draft, and the top 3 teams have a 14% chance. The number 4 spot is only 1.5% worse of a chance at the number 1 pick than the top 3. We're going to talk about all of that. But they pulled it off. And after watching Cooper Flagg last night, I think he can have an immediate impact in the NBA. He might be the only player in this draft that I think is going to have an immediate impact in the NBA and not be a player that needs a whole 4, 5, 6 years of development. And, you know, for the people that say they shouldn't tank, they're not going to get the pick anyway, whatever it is, they have every reason to tank. You're not close to winning anything. They knew they weren't close to winning anything probably the first 20 games of the season. They started 3-15. You might as well swing for the fences for Cooper Flagg and until next season, because you're not winning shit this year. So that's what they're doing. And they out-tanked the New Orleans Pelicans with precision. Now, as far as the actual game, no real reason to watch it. Actually, I know for a fact there's no reason to watch this game at all. Nobody was watching it. We had somehow over 300 live viewers across all platforms. I think the 300 viewers across all platforms on Run It Back Philly, plus myself, were the only people watching this game in the entire world. This was maybe the worst basketball team the worst basketball game I've ever watched in my life. It was absolutely horrendous. I mean, you got Kelly Olynyk out there, who looks like he parked his horse and buggy at the arena and, you know, drank a Mountain Dew before the game and came in to play some basketball, you know, shoot some hoops, don't you know? It looks like he plays basketball on a hoop that's hung on the side of a barn and dribbles the ball in dirt and gravel. You know what I'm saying? And you got Elfrid Payton out there. I didn't know this guy was still in the NBA. That's the player the Sixers drafted and traded for Dario Saric 100 years ago. The rights to Dario Saric, who then did not come over for a couple of years and then came over and was not even the star player that we thought he was going to be. Who else played for the Pelicans that I need to talk about? Jose Alvarado did some clutch things as far as assisting in the fourth quarter and driving and dishing and making the defense move. He was terrible. He was 3 for 12. He was 1 for 6. This dude, Yves Missi, 9 rebounds. Kelly Olynyk was a +3. Who else? Jordan Hawkins? Who is that? Jordan Hawkins had how many points? I'm not even showing the points here. Jordan Hawkins had 9. Missi had 16. Who's this guy? I watched the whole game. I don't remember seeing K. Brooks Jr. I watched the whole game, and I never once saw the name Brooks Jr. on my TV screen. Anyway, Brooks Jr. had 10 points and 2 rebounds. Shout out to him also. I forget his first name. Matkovic. Carlo Matkovic had 19 points off the bench for the Pelicans to secure the 76ers tank job. Carlo Matkovic was a +22, had 19 and 8 off the bench. Who's this guy? Oh, I kept calling him number 12 because I didn't know his name. A. Reeves. Antonio Reeves for the Pelicans had 17 points off the bench to secure the 76ers epic tank job. Shout out to Antonio Reeves. Antonio Reeves at one point drove into the lane and tried to do a left-handed floater and threw it all the way over the backboard. That's how bad every player in this game was. Sixers legend Lester Canonez played in this game. That's how bad every player in this game was. Mo Bamba plays for the Pelicans. He did not play in this game. He's probably injured because he's always injured. But yeah, those are all the players that won the game for the Pelicans. As far as the Sixers, shout out to the tank commander, Jalen Hood Schifino, who somehow was a minus 27 in this game to secure the tank for the 76ers. I have no idea how you could possibly be a minus 27 in 19 minutes. A minus 27 in 19 minutes for the tank commander, Jalen Hood Schifino. Oh my God, that's horrible. Adem Bona was a minus 13 in 19 minutes. M. Bagley, who is that? Shout out to my guy RJ. He was in the live Twitch stream and he was saying, who the hell is Bagley? And I didn't really notice until the second half that there was a guy with a number 35 on the floor. And I thought it said Bailey. And I started saying, who the hell's Bailey? Turns out his name is Bagley. Marcus Bagley. Arizona State. Bio. Rookie. When was he drafted? It's not going to tell us. We don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows where Marcus Bagley came from. But the Sixers found him. And they put him on the floor to secure the tank job. Other than that, yeah, I mean, you know, Justin Edwards was bricking in the fourth quarter. That helped us win. Jared Butler, again, performer of the first half, stunk it up in the second quarter or the second half. That helped us win. Yabaselli's still fighting out there. And Yabaselli had some big-time offensive rebounds in the fourth quarter that was really annoying. Because I don't want the Sixers to win. We don't want the Sixers to win. But Yabaselli was balling out there. And I think Yabaselli's going to leave. I wanted to say this. I said this on the live stream. I want to say it now. I think Yabaselli's going to leave because I think Yabaselli, if I'm Gershon Yabaselli, I do not want to be a part of this. If I'm Gershon Yabaselli and I just played in the World Championship game in the Olympics and I dunked on LeBron James and the world was talking about me, the world was saying my name, so much so that I garnered attention from the NBA again. And I signed a contract with the Philadelphia 76ers, and a couple of months later, I was playing in a game with Marcus Bagley and Jalen Hood Schifino, and it got less ratings than probably a cornhole tournament on ESPN. I'm not re-signing with the Sixers, bro. First of all, he's probably going to get more money than the Sixers are going to offer him, because I think they can only offer the taxpayer mid-level exception of $14 million. I don't know if he gets more than $14 million. But even if he gets $1 more, if there's a team out there that offers him $1 more than the taxpayer mid-level exception, he's signing with that other team. I hate to tell you guys. Gershon Yabaselli does not have an obligation to the Philadelphia 76ers. And he doesn't want to be here because he wants to get back to playing basketball on a national stage. And let me tell you something. The 17 fans in New Orleans and the 300 people on my stream were the only people watching this game. I just wanted to say that. Now, let's look at the tank standings. How do I get it up here? Hold on, we got it. Let's look at the tank standings and see what has to continue to happen for the 76ers to get into the fourth spot. the 76ers are now 23-49. Brooklyn lost to the Dallas Mavericks today, which is annoying because we need Brooklyn to win to stop being tied with us. Toronto's winning too many games. They might be winning themselves out of the Cooper Flagg sweepstakes. The Dallas Mavericks played Anthony Davis tonight and got a win, which is dumb for the Dallas Mavericks to even do, but not a smart organization. As you know, they traded Luka Doncic, and then they traded Quentin Grimes for who the hell? Martin. Caleb Martin. They traded Quentin Grimes for another terrible trade. Anyway, they beat Brooklyn tonight, so we're still tied with Brooklyn at 23-49. But we were 4.5 games behind New Orleans for the 4th spot. This win jumped us up an entire game. We are now 3.5 games behind the New Orleans Pelicans for the 4th worst record in the league. And it will go from 9.8% chance at number 1 overall pick, a.k.a. chance at landing Cooper Flagg. It will go from 9.8% to 12.5% if they can catch the New Orleans Pelicans for that 4th spot. Top 3 picks have a 14% chance at the number 1 overall pick. Number 4 has 12.5, 9.8, 9.7, and 7.5 Toronto. So their chances of landing that number 1 pick jump up about 3 whole percentage points if they can catch the New Orleans Pelicans. Also this, the NBA lottery is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. It has incentivized more teams to tank than anything. The NBA thought they were creating a system that was going to prevent teams from tanking, because if you're the worst team in the league like the Washington Wizards, you only have a 14% chance at the number 1 overall pick. So their thinking was, if the number 1 overall pick is not guaranteed, they won't lose on purpose. But all they really did was incentivize all of these other teams to lose on purpose to maximize their own percentage. So yeah, the bottom 3 only have a 14% chance at the number 1 pick, but now you're giving number 4 a 12.5% chance, and they have every reason to try to lose on purpose to turn that 12.5 into 14%. Example, the Sixers and the Brooklyn Nets. They have every reason to try to lose on purpose to turn this 9.8% into 12.5%. If the lottery did not exist, the Pelicans, the Sixers, and the Brooklyn Nets and on down would have no reason to try to lose on purpose because they're too far behind Washington, Utah, and Charlotte to get anywhere close to the number 1 pick. So all you've done is incentivize more teams to lose on purpose. So you, NBA, are stupid. Adam Silver, you are stupid. You don't know what you're doing. And one more thing before I get out of here. After watching March Madness for the last couple of days, especially yesterday, it is officiated so much better than the NBA. The NBA needs to find a way to officiate games the way they officiate games in March Madness. The level of marginal contact that is allowed in college basketball makes it so much more interesting to watch. It makes it so much more competitive. And in a perfect world, they call the game where they're only really calling fouls if it clearly affects the play. So then you can't have players hunting for fouls. Because if a player is jumping sideways or forward or sweeping through or doing something that they're clearly not trying to score, they're just flat out not calling it. You have to get fouled while intending to score the ball, and the foul has to clearly affect the shot attempt. In the NBA, you don't even have to be putting up a shot attempt. You can just bait defenders into fouling you, and they call it every single time. And what do you have? A fucking free throw fest, and it's boring. So back in the day with Michael Jordan, et cetera, when the NBA got into star players and star calls and they started trying to, oh, this makes so much money. This player has signature shoes and he's a worldwide phenomenon. And we have to continue to elevate offensive players in the NBA because that's the most entertaining. And in turn, that makes the most money and that brings on the most fans. But they've done it too far to where now it's not the most entertaining form of basketball. It's actually the least entertaining form of basketball, and the ratings are going down, and it's affecting the product. So let's get back to how it used to be, where you only called a foul if it affected a clear attempt at scoring the ball. I just wanted to say that too. Anyway, there was no real reason to watch this game. The Sixers pulled off another epic tank job. They are one step closer to Cooper Flagg. And, shout out to everyone that came through. We got a comment on the Twitch page. Jared, bro, Kate Scott asked Nick Nurse the worst question I ever heard. You need to hear it. What did she ask him? You posted a comment. Why don't you tell me what she asked him? Now I got to go over to try to find it, bro. Now I got to go to Twitter to try to find it. Let's see. Nick Nurse on Twitter. Nick Nurse. The Sixers are so pathetic. Nick Nurse is a better coach when we want to lose. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be here. It's not going to be here. So I don't know what she asked him, but thank you for telling me that she asked him a question without telling me what the question was. Y'all have a great night. I'm out.